Welcome back to New Rockstars. Moon Knight Episode 2 finally had Mark and Steven talking face to face, or rather, mirror to mirror. And we got a fresh new look at Moon Knight dressed like he's ready to go to high school prom or KFC. One of those two things. And how hard is it to keep that suit looking fresh and white, huh? You would need to buy a lot of bleach, like a lot of bleach. Like, God. But what's Khonshu's laundry budget anyway? Like, that's a really large bleach budget. Anyway, this is the Rogue Theory, the show where we pitch the wildest theories for the nerdy titles that we love. My name is MT, and going rogue with me today is someone I would always ride on the back of a motorcycle with. It's Jessica Clemons. What's going on, Jess?
I'm so sorry. I just read a tweet on Twitter in response to this episode of Moon Knight when he's coming down, when Khonshu is coming down the storage facility, and this girl said, "Got that Pete Davidson build."
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Does that mean that Khonshu has a big penis? Is that what that means?
I think that's what that
means. Big dick Khonshu. Into it. Khonshu now dating Kim Kardashian.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that would explain his powers, Pete Davidson's powers. I think he just has godly powers.
Honestly, it would explain his powers.
He's powered by the moon.
Avatar for an Egyptian deity, that would 100% make sense.
I would accept it. And of course, someone who makes a mean vegan lentil soup. It's Whitney Van Laningham. What's going on, Whitney?
Not a whole lot. I actually do really like vegan soup. It's good.
They're pretty dang good. I do like me a good lentil soup. I wasn't a believer at first, but I dated someone who really loved lentil soup, and I was like, all right, I'll try it. Delicious stuff.
Soup is one of those things where, like, you don't know how good it is until you find a really good soup.
It's true. It's all about the soup chef. All right, no soup for you if you don't like soup.
I was just gonna say,
no soup for you.
And of course, someone I would always take a trip to Egypt with, and host of the Filmlosophers podcast, it's Eddie Villanueva. What's going on, Eddie?
What is up, guys? Man, I would love to go to Egypt. I've never been, but in my mind, let's just imagine it here. Do a little reading rainbow, kind of thing.
Just imagination. Let's all pretend like we're in Egypt together.
There we go.
Editors, put Egypt behind me. Haha, now I'm in Egypt. Not you. All right, anyway, in this episode... I don't know what I'm saying. In this week's episode of Moon Knight, we got a new version of the Moon Knight character when Stephen Grant called for the suit for the first time. And this leads us to our first topic of today. Why did Stephen call the Mr. Knight suit rather than, the traditional Moon Knight suit? Because when Stephen tries to tap into the Moon Knight powers himself, it manifests as the Mr. Knight character in a slick white suit with some golden beaten sticks, which were pretty damn cool. He just pulls them out like a Looney Tunes character. I love that. So what does this suit manifestation tell us about Steven? And why didn't the normal Khonshu armor come out for him? And why this suit? What do you guys think?
I was talking to my friend Harry, who's a huge Moon Knight fan. Can you hear me? MT, you did this with your ear. Oh, okay.
Oh no, I have the biggest ear holes in the world, so like my earbuds keep falling out. So
I do the same thing every time I do this. I'm like I'm a newscaster. Like, yeah, James.
Hey, Bob. I'm here in the middle of the hurricane.
I'm here in the middle of the hurricane.
I'm here in the middle of the hurricane.
Lost my cameraman, but we're still rowing.
yeah, can you hear me? I'm the only person here.
Lost the cameraman, but he was only an intern, so we'll be fine.
Oh god. Oh, he's unpaid. Let him be. I was talking to my friend Harry, who's a huge Moon Knight fan, because I was so confused about this, and he told me that, and this is his theory, not mine, but also I was like, oh, this makes sense, that when Steven he manifested the suit, when they said summon a suit, he was like, oh, I'm going to take it literally and summon an actual suit, not his actual, like, Moon Knight costume. So but funny. Steven also gets the suit that is just like, Steven gets the suit, Mark gets the suit, like, gets the cape, gets everything else. Right. And I think that's so funny and so great to acknowledge. And I feel like eventually he's going to be a good Mr. Knight in that suit and fight really well. But for right now, we just got sloppy, silly,
he's still learning,
goofy
baby.
ass. Yeah, a little learning baby ass Steven right now. But when he said summon a suit, it was an actual suit.
I do love... Oh, yeah, sorry, continue.
No, I was just saying, I agree with Jess. Like, I feel like the way this particular iteration of whoever Moon Knight is, whether if he's Stephen Grant or Mark Spector, I feel like one of the best ways that he can kind of shine while putting on that suit is essentially put on something that makes him feel confident. Like, kind of like when you get a new outfit and you're
Yeah.
trying on
Right.
different things. Like for Steven, we know he's not very, he's not very graceful. He's not very bright at times. And he's not very socially adept. But I mean, when you put on a suit, or when you put on a nice outfit, you feel confident. And I feel like this was his opportunity to kind of feel confident as a somewhat superhero,
Right.
Now I'm just picturing him getting into a suit, and you guys remember the musical episode of How I Met Your Mother with Barney Stinson, where he's like, "You're never fully dressed without a suit."
Oh
Like, I'm
yeah.
just picturing now Moon Knight doing the little dance and like this, the down the
Yeah.
suits in the closet.
Honestly, I don't know who I was talking to before, but like I think Moon Knight is the perfect show for a little musical sequence. At least one
Oh,
time
yeah.
in the show.
Oh, yeah.
I would
for
love
sure.
that so much.
He has to
They
sing
should
in
have
accent,
removed that
though.
out of the Hawkeye series and put that
Put
musical
him
ending
Moon
on this one, because I would have much rather seen this one.
It's just him fighting
let's get those
himself
guys
on
back.
stage.
They were great.
Mhm.
Him fighting himself on stage. When
But
he
no,
was fighting
I
himself was the best part. Keep going. Sorry.
I really love this idea of, him literally taking the suit as a suit, because what else is he gonna think? He's not gonna think, all right,
Yeah.
let me imagine this Moon Knight suit, because like it sort of
Yeah.
implies to me
I
that
honestly
like
think
is
he
this-
just panicked. Like,
Yeah.
like when
Yeah,
somebody's
yeah.
like somebody's like pop quizzing you and they're like, "All right, what's the suit?" And you're like, suit."
Yeah.
And then like he's just
Yeah.
wearing like the
Literal
complete
suit.
wrong one.
would
That's
have
what I think happened.
Long coattails, like it would have a top hat.
Right.
That's exactly how I'd imagine it. He's just lucky that he
Yeah,
summoned
exactly.
a suit that actually does kind of fall along the same lines as the
Yeah.
caped one. It's like it's still white.
Right.
He's just wearing kind of like a nice silk vest.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
and like
I feel
circling
like-
back to what MT said at the very opening, like, what is Khonshu's dry cleaning bill like? And also, what is his hotel room budget like? Because holy shit, that suit is crisp. It is white. It is pressed.
true.
That hotel
It's true.
room had fucking billowing orange curtains and like gorgeous like Egyptian cotton sheets. And he was like, "Oh, I'm drinking a really old bottle of whiskey because I'm a fancy man." And like, well, I know Stephen wasn't. It was Mark. Whatever. I shouldn't have used the accent, but I wanted to. Yeah,
didn't.
like
it would
he's
be
like
interesting-
Khonshu has like a taste for the finer things in life.
He
It
really
would
And
be
I
does.
think
interesting to
that,
see if there's another iteration of the suit that comes out, like
Mhm.
because we know Steven is a very, in terms of history and so forth, he's very educated in that aspect. So
Right.
like, what if the next time he shows up in the suit, it's like a Victorian era suit, or even goes back
Ooh.
further and it's like a, or even during a time where it's like the U.S. Civil War or something because of Mark Spector. Like, it would be interesting to see how far they take that gag in terms of a suit. I'm really
Yeah.
hoping he doesn't show up in like a maintenance onesie, with a name tag that just says Moon Knight.
Moon
Yeah,
Knight.
that would be really awkward. Just saying.
I'm excited to see what Layla's suit's gonna look like. Because inevitably she's gonna be
Ooh.
taken for at least a day, at least an hour, at least 2 hours, if not
Dang.
forever.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see like they made it such a point to be like, oh, other people can be my like fist of vengeance is what they saw it. They called it. It's like, okay, what did Ethan Hawke's costume look like? Was everyone's different, or was it
Yeah.
definitely just like a different side of the Moon Knight that we've seen? Also, our Moon
Yeah.
Knight, and when I say our Moon Knight, I'm talking about Mark, main Moon Knight,
Right.
main Moon Knight
Yeah.
one. His suit is like it's the like tattered like rags that are wrapped around
Mhm.
him,
Right.
whereas our
Right.
Stevens is so classic that I'm like, how do we differentiate the like? How did you get those two? How are you
Yeah.
able to choose
Well,
how?
well, you
this
know
been
when
made?
when they have that conversation in the mirror about like what are you wearing? It's like, are you Psycho Colonel Sanders or something?
Yeah.
He does mention that he usually wears the ceremonial robes of
Mhm.
Khonshu. So like that's
Khonshu.
what that weird roby stuff was. It's like the
Mm.
traditional garb of
Yeah.
that the Khonshu gives his
He takes
avatar.
he
So
takes
like
the robe off the statue and then he wraps himself in it. And, yeah.
yeah.
Perfect.
So, like, do you guys think that because Mark Spector, that personality is more so down with the whole Khonshu thing than Steve Grant is? Do you think that could be why? Because Stephen Grant doesn't fully subscribe to the Khonshu belief that he just is a different type of suit, because like he's just like, all right, I'm my own guy. I'm not like Khonshu's guy. I'm me. I'm Steve Grant in the suit.
me. I think
Like,
so.
do you think
I-
like loyalty has to like factor in there?
they're still the same person, so it's like he even said at one point, like, it's kind of you, but it's not you. Like, it's me.
Yeah.
And it's like, we're still the same person, but I'm fully giving myself to Khonshu. So I think it's like, this is adjacent to that. So it is that you can get a little further, but you can't go all the way. You're not getting the ceremonial robes. You're going to get whatever, I guess, you imagine it to be. But it's not going to be exactly what I have. It will never be exactly what I have.
Right.
I feel like there has to be a sense of belief tied to it, to a certain extent. I mean, not fully. This isn't Peter Pan, you got to believe and to fly, whatever. But it's like, in a sense, I feel like because of Ethan Hawke's character, Arthur, because of his devout belief, I feel like because of that, he's able to do things like summon those jackals and things like that, and probably more so. We haven't been able to see everything that he's capable of doing, but I feel like a lot of that is because of his like devout belief. And I feel like Mark Spector kind of has a more stronger grasp on the Moon Knight, the avatar of Khonshu, because of his belief in that after he's done with this, last mission, quote unquote, he's out.
Yeah.
I feel like that has to tie maybe a little bit into it, because obviously we've seen Steven has no belief in this whatsoever. In fact, he's fought it pretty much 3/4 of both episode 1 and 2. So I feel like there has to be maybe a little bit play in there to where he doesn't get access to like all the power, but enough to where he can defend himself to a certain extent.
Real talk.
Right. No, I definitely believe that. Like, that's sort of like what I was trying to get at, like what I was talking before. Because, like, I think that it's a degree of like belief that has to be in play here, between versus Mark's belief versus Steven's belief.
Does Mark, also like, you don't know what you don't know, right?
It's
so
true.
Like Steven doesn't know everything that Mark knows. He's not aware of the same things. So how could he have the same suit if he doesn't have the same knowledge, the same relationship with Khonshu, the same history,
right,
etc.
True,
etc.
All right, but what do you think, Whitney?
I just said that.
Oh, just that? Sorry. I didn't know if I got to like everybody.
Cool. Now say it again.
Now say it all again,
cool,
one more time, Whitney.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
But what else? That was dumb. Great take one.
Go
but,
on.
In the future, could you say something better?
I'm
giving
sorry,
you a
but
second
I didn't know
chance.
if like that was good.
Giving you a second chance.
Everything you just said, we're going to cut it out. We're going to remove it. Let's try one more time.
We're going to remove it? Okay, go again.
So do you guys think that this Mr. Knight reveal like sort of marks the beginning of us seeing Stephen Grant slowly adopt this Mr. Knight personality, and like this is what he's going to wear forever, like as
100.
Stephen Grant when he fights?
100.
Yeah, I feel like this
hope
would be
so.
a great.
It looks hot
Yeah,
on him.
I feel like this would be a good look for Stephen Grant, the person who has the least amount of confidence so far out of the personalities that we've seen, to come out as somebody who's looking dapper and well dressed, and even with a sense of confidence, because we even got to see that when he's like fighting the jackal in the streets. He's like, "Come on, put up," and he's over here.
I love that moment.
Yeah, that was a great moment.
Muhammad Ali.
Yeah. And then he punches and he's like, "Yeah!" He's like all super excited. I feel like this is his like confidence boost. This is him becoming something that he wants to be as the avatar of Khonshu, as opposed to just being Moon Knight. He is still Moon Knight, but he wants to be it on his own terms. And I feel like Mr. Knight is going to be that for this character.
Yeah, I really do like that. Like honestly, like I feel like that's what they're going for sure.
Yeah.
Like it's just like it's all about the personality of the personality. It's like, if you're into suits, you're gonna be Mr. Suit Man. That's just what's gonna happen.
And I feel like this show is just gonna. Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say I feel like this show is just gonna dive deeper into how much they can unravel personalities of personalities, and even of personalities of those, because this is essentially Marvel having a character who has DID. So it's like, how much can you showcase that in a series while still being tasteful and exploring that in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? And knowing Marvel, they're going to go as far as they can to really create some unique things for us. And let's be honest, everybody's been waiting for Moon Knight, so they're going to have a blast showing us all aspects within this first season.
Oh, absolutely. But like, speaking of all these personalities, because we know from the comics that Jake Lockley is a very popular and a very well-known personality associated with Mark Spector. So like, A, do you guys think we're going to see Jake Lockley like at some point during the season? And B, do you think that Jake Lockley would have his own different suit? Like, we see from Steve Grant and Mark Spector. You all right?
What happened to you?
There was air in my Capri Sun, and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna push it out because I'm an idiot. And all the juice came out.
Oh my god.
This pouch of
Jess.
liquid I
I
cannot
was
see.
like,
I
oh my
shall
goodness, what did I
squeeze it.
say?
Yeah. Oh, how dare you, MT? How dare you?
but no, seriously, so do you guys think that? Do you guys think that Jake Lockley would have his own like separate suit? And like, what do you guys think that his suit would look like if he did?
That'd
We know
be
that he's
sick.
like a cab driver from like New York.
It's
like
just
a-
like a silk white cab hat.
I was just gonna say.
Yeah, with like a sweater vest. I would
Not
love
even
it.
like a white flannel shirt and some
Mm.
white
I would love
pants,
that.
you know, with some
And it
white
has,
like,
pants and everything.
A white mustard stain from
There
a
you
white
go.
pastrami.
He's like, oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry
He
about
was
it.
eating while driving his
He's like,
cab.
hey, you want a bagel? He's got white bagels and everything.
Yeah, he's got white bagels only.
Sir, are
Yo,
you an angel?
I wanna see a white
Are you
cab.
a ghost?
Yeah, and they're
Am I
like,
going
can
to
you
heaven?"
toast this bagel for me? And he's like, absolutely not. They have to stay white. We cannot
Not
toast
even.
them
He
for
grabs
you.
the bagel. He grabs a bagel and he breaks it apart, and those are his weapons. He's like, come on. Just,
Oh my God. He's like,
So the
Forget
moon
the
is
law.
just
He's
two
like-
halves of a bagel.
he's like, this isn't even a knife. It's just
Like,
a
if
day
you
old
cut the
bagel. Let's
bagel-
go.
that works. That works.
Yeah.
They're just really stale bagels.
It's the day old bagel. You ever
Oh.
fought a
Two
New York
really
day old
hard
bagel?
stale
It's like,
bagels.
He's like, ah, that
get
really
outta
hurt.
here, you know?
I
I
mean,
would
I
love
can
that.
still move, but
Either-
I mean, it hurt when you hit me with your stale bagel.
It's like, be
Stale
careful. This
bagels
one's
and
got
croissants.
edges. This one's got edges.
This one's
And
got
just
edges.
swiping at that.
I was thinking though, MT, I was thinking lightly. I was like, what
Mm.
if, I don't think this will happen. This is a rogue theory. If Jake Lockley
Mm.
was the person that Khonshu is referring to, as in like, because Mark keeps being, or Steven keeps saying like, it's going to be Layla. He's going to take Layla. He's going to take Layla from me.
Mhm.
What if he's like, there's another person you don't know yet that's deep down inside of you that's Jake, and I'm taking that
Mm.
motherfucker. Like, you thought it was you.
Ooh.
You thought it was Layla, but it was actually another
That's-
version of yourself. So I'm still going to be controlling
Yeah.
you. You're not going to be happy with the outcome. It's someone that's close and dear to you. It's yourself, but it's Jake.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if that
Khonshu
would happen,
is
but I
a
was like, that would
terrible
be, and that I'm glad it's like starting to be recognized. I love his little petty 2-year-old like knocking over things.
Yes.
I love it.
The roast of Khonshu
I
was so delightful.
When he straight up Emperor Palpatine and straight up said, "Kill him," I was like, "What? What is
Right?
he gonna do?
Yeah.
Yeah, do it.
Precious
do
one
it.
did
Kill
it.
him.
Just
Precious
kill
one
him.
did it." I was like, "You're gonna do that in the middle? What? This is Steven." But it's
Yeah,
like
like,
it
dude, we're
clearly
eating
at the end
soup
of it
right
is like
now.
Khonshu's a mean person. Yeah, dude, shut up. He's like,
like-
no.
He's like, he's telling you to kill me, isn't he? He's like, yeah. It's like,
He's at the, he was standing at the top and he said,
Yeah.
"I am justice." He's like, "Shush." He said, "Shush," like a child that thinks they're Batman.
Please.
I'm
Yeah.
the
Settle.
fist of vengeance.
I am the fist of vengeance.
Oh my god.
Kill him.
But no, kill him. But yeah. So you guys feel like Jake Lockley could come up later this season?
Oh yeah. I
Maybe.
feel like if it's gonna be
Mhm.
anything, they're gonna do like a reveal towards the tail end of the series,
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm.
kind of
Yeah.
like
For
one of the
season
things that-
two.
season 2.
Yeah, because I think
Yeah.
right now just getting to know Mark Spector and Stephen Grant is gonna be a handful enough as it is, with
Right.
the added fact that Khonshu is in the mix. So I feel like we're gonna get a lot more time spent with those two before we move over to any of the other personalities. Personally,
Nice. No, I definitely feel the same way. Like it's just like you're pacing themselves. Marvel
Yeah.
likes to pace themselves a little bit, so like there's no reason to go full steam if you could just like tell the story in a nice, calm way. So I think that's the way to go. But no, I loved all these theories, especially
Absolutely.
the bagel stuff. I think that we're gonna see some bagel
Yes.
action. I really want
Yes.
to see the Moon Knight go random bullshit go like the meme.
Yeah.
I
oh
really
my
want
gosh,
that to happen.
I saw that
but no,
comic
these are
panel that
all
you
great
tweeted,
theories.
and it's perfect. That's also all I want.
These are all great theories. I want to give Whitney and Jess 5,000 points each for their theories, but Mr. Friend over here, Mr. Eddie, you're about to get 6,000 for your idea of like this idea of like his like belief being part of
yeah.
what's happening with this suit and like what's happening with Mark Spector, because like there's also a huge difference of belief between Mark and Steven, so
Yeah.
that has to be a factor there, at least in my humble weird opinion. But anyway,
Bagel knives.
and bagel knives, that's also
knives!
going to be a factor. That's playing in. That's how Steven's going down. That's how Arthur Harrow's going down. Through carbs. Death by
There you go.
carbs.
He's got a
But
good
anyways,
analogy.
He's like, no, Mark, don't do it. Gluten's my biggest weakness. But up next, we're going to talk about the next potential fist of Khonshu. But first, if you like what we do at New Rockstars and you also like cool, nerdy t-shirts, well, I've got some great news for you. There's something you can do that checks off both of those boxes. You can buy the Moon Knight's latest obsession shirt at newrockstarsmerch.com. And this shirt is called Tomb of the Moon God. It's a very cool design, and buying it directly supports New Rockstars and all the content that we make. It's literally the best way to support us. And every shirt bought adds a little Easter egg to a future breakdown, which is very cool. We also want to thank Upstart for sponsoring this video, because we've all been hit by an unexpected extreme expense or bill. And it's like getting T-boned by a semi-truck of financial stress. But luckily, Upstart is here to help. Upstart-powered personal loans can help you pay down high-interest debt, all online with simple and easy to understand payment terms. Upstart has helped over 1.8 million customers with paying off credit cards, consolidating high interest debt, or funding personal expenses. And Upstart can help you get one fixed monthly payment with a clear payoff date. Upstart knows that you are more than just your credit score, so Upstart's model considers other factors like your income, employment, and other information provided in your loan application to find you a smarter rate for your loan. And you can check your rate in minutes for loans between $1,000 to $50,000 without impacting your credit score. And you can even receive funds as fast as 1 business day after accepting your loan. So don't wait and check your rate today at upstart.com/roguetheory. That's upstart.com/roguetheory to check your rate today. And don't forget to use our URL to let them know that we sent you. Okay, that's very important. And loan amounts will be determined based on your credit, income, and certain other information provided in your loan application. So please go to upstart.com/roguetheory. It can be tough to dress during the spring when the weather can shift wildly from day to day. Luckily, Verity makes it way easier. They make the perfect clothing for all seasons. Verity is a family-run brand making high-quality, timeless clothing with modern design and functionality. And all of their clothing has an effortless style that works no matter what you're doing. Heading to work, going out with friends, pitching a Mark Spector theory, Verity works for all of that. And around the New Rockstars office, everyone loves it when a Verity delivery comes. We all hold hands and sing Kumbaya. They're the prized possessions of everyone's wardrobe. And Verity's so confident in the quality of their stuff that they have a lifetime guarantee of quality, which means that they will replace or fix your clothes forever, no matter what, which is a pretty good deal. That's a binding contract. Jeez, you really want to make that promise? To talk about making it easier to get dressed. And right now, Verity is giving the Rogue Theory audience 20% off. That's 20% off. If you go to heritybrand.com/rogue and use the code ROGUE at checkout to snag 20% off all of your new spring staples. That is code ROGUE, ROGUE at Verity, FAHERTY brand.com/rogue for 20% off. Heritybrand.com/rogue. Don't you forget it. Don't forget about Verity, y'all. Don't you do it. But anyway, you guys ready for topic 2? You guys ready to get into it?
But now I'm disappointed that we don't all sing a little song when the mail
During
not?
the Verity delivery?
That sounds so Blue's Clues of us. We could be as
I would
happy
love
as
it.
Steve and Blue.
We just got some Verity. We just got some
You know, like that'd be f***ing great.
Those of us with
I'm
pets
all about it. That's how I was
that
raised.
are weird can't
raised
sing
on
when the mailman gets here.
Same. I'm a big singing when the mail arrives kind of person.
Yeah, I'm traumatized from singing from the last 10 years. We talked about that before going on air, so just saying.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I only like to sing gospels. I only like to sing gospels and hymns.
Yeah, he was the leader, MT.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, you were a youth pastor.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, I
we
used to
talked
listen to
about
all
this
that
not
shit.
even 30 minutes ago.
I know. I'm sorry. I have like the worst memory
You're
in the
like,
world.
what?
I'm like
A
super
pastor?
tired.
Can you
today.
bless me?
Oh boy, here we go. Anyway.
Motherfucker.
That's not a
All right,
blessing.
guys.
Sorry, keep going.
All right, guys, because another thing we learned in this episode this week is that there have been many avatars of Khonshu over the years. And one way that Khonshu keeps his current avatar in check is by threatening them to move on to his next one. Blackmail from God. Not great, but that's usually how religion works. But anyway, this leads us to our second topic for today. Why does Khonshu want Layla as his next avatar? Because we hear Khonshu threaten Mark with the prospect of taking on Layla as his next avatar, something that Mark does not want to happen. So is this just a threat from Khonshu to keep Mark in line, or is there something about Layla that makes her the perfect avatar in Khonshu's lack of eyes? The holes there, his eyes would be.
I feel like okay. because I wanted to throw this out because I don't know if anyone's going to take it, to be honest. So a couple years back, there was a series called Acts of Evil. It was a mini event, several different volumes, different characters. Moon Knight had an annual out of that whole series. In that series, it was essentially where each Marvel or certain Marvel characters were going to be facing against other heroes' supervillains. And in this one, he was fighting against Kang the Conqueror.
Interesting.
So in this one, because of their battle, they end up going through time, and essentially Moon Knight visits with every single iteration of Moon Knight over the years, from like the Victorian era, all that, until he gets to the very beginning. And he finds that at the very beginning, the very first Moon Knight was a priestess of Khonshu. And so my thought is, what if Khonshu knows that Layla is the reincarnation of the first Moon Knight as a priestess of Khonshu, and that's why he has his eyes set on her, instead of him like, I'm gonna take her, I'm gonna take your mom, or I'm gonna take this, or like any of these other people. He's focusing on Layla because he knows, I mean, we're talking about Egyptian culture, we're talking about history, there's a strong belief of reincarnation within the Egyptian culture back then. So what if this entire time Khonshu knows that Layla is the reincarnation of the priestess of Khonshu, and that's why he's so focused? He already knows, no matter what, even if Mark Spector does this last mission, he knows that he has an ace in the hole with Layla if Mark decides to, act a fool and take off.
Interesting.
Dang.
I really like that.
Interesting.
I would really dig that, because like I
I've
didn't
never
personally know that
read
about
that
the
series.
first
That's so
ever
cool.
Moon
I
Knight.
had
It's
no
a
idea.
great series. The Acts of Evil. It was just a
Acts of
1-year
Evil?
event, but it had like
I'm gonna look
Wolverine.
into
It
it.
had
That sounds really badass.
oh yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
So 2019 came out in 2019.
Interesting.
Damn.
So Layla has secret special blood that makes her
Mm.
the best Moon Knight of all,
Secret
possibly. The
special
Moon
blood.
Queen.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah, that's
so you're
better
saying
than
we
my
need to
answer.
drink
I
her
was just
blood.
gonna say, because Layla's cool, okay? And
I mean, that's
Khonshu's
a great
like, I need a
answer.
cool girl to be my avatar. I've been with this dweeb, Steven. No, I'm starting over. I'm getting me a bad bitch for my avatar.
Right.
Like, that's what I was gonna say.
Mhm.
Eddie's answer is way cooler.
I would love for Khonshu to say the sentence, Mark, why aren't you a bad bitch like Layla?
In that
Why aren't
voice
you a
and
bad
everything?
bitch?
Yes.
Why
Yes.
can't you be
He
the
says,
bad bitch
"Hot
I
girl
need? Then I
summer."
wouldn't have to get Layla. You're making me do
Hot
this,
girl
Mark.
summer.
You're making me.
Mm. Mhm.
But no, I really dig that idea.
Ethan Hawke is like, what is he saying to you now? I'm a hot bitch. Don't worry about it.
I'm a hot bitch.
Don't worry
I need a
about
hot bitch in charge.
it. Don't worry about it.
I need an
I'm a hot bitch in charge.
HBIC.
There you go.
Oh my gosh. All right, what do you guys think?
Khonshu is just watching Megan Thee Stallion videos on YouTube.
Yes, yes.
That's what he does when he's not around. He's just watching
like,
Megan Thee
Khonshu's
Stallion.
like, she's just like, I'm doing hot girl shit.
Yeah, I'm doing Mark's
He's
like,
got what
When the
playing in the
sun's out, I just do
background and
hot girl
everything.
shit.
yeah. Don't look at him, Mark. Oh my god. Body
No,
on.
but what do you guys think?
Yeah, I agree with Whitney. Mine is not as good as Eddie's. Mine was actually originally
Don't
Eddie's.
say that.
So maybe I should get the point because that was originally what I was gonna say. No, yeah, I don't really have anything now.
I'm sorry.
I mean, okay. I mean, there's also the opportunity of, Layla kind of playing, because I thought of another one, because way back when Moon Knight first started, there was also in one of the earlier issues, I think like issue number 42 or something, it was way back when, Moon Knight actually finds an evil doppelganger of himself named Moonshade. And what if this entire time, like, what if Khonshu's already working with Layla?
Oh
And
yeah, that could be.
And so he's already got, like, a part of his powers they're already in her, and she's working on that end to where if Mark Spector starts moving towards being a little bit more morally right, because it looks like his past is a little morally gray, with all the things that he was shown and everything. What if she's the one who has no problem being morally ambiguous and doing whatever Khonshu needs? And so at that time, when Mark Spector decides to kind of be Mr. Right, she's there to automatically put on the robes. She has the power, and she's going to be his counterpart to fight against at that last part of the series as like Moonshade.
What if Layla is
That
just
would be-
Bast? What if Layla is actually a god, and that's why he couldn't colonize her mind, so he decided to colonize her fiance's, which is Mark. There you go. That's my theory.
The great thing about this is Layla's a complete original character. There
Yeah.
isn't a Layla in
Yeah.
the comics, so
It's
it's ultimately up to Marvel's interpretation of how they want that character to go, through whatever vein that's either already established or through a vein that they're going to create all on their own. Like, we could all be
Right.
wrong, and she's like actually the Egyptian Daredevil, and she's like whatever. It could be anything to that effect. Marvel can do whatever they want, but
Right.
from what we know and the opportunities that are already created, I mean, there's a lot of opportunities to see her become that badass that we want her to be, and we know she
Right.
can be. So it'll be interesting. But those are my two theories.
I'm glad that Eddie's just running laps in theories around us.
right.
We're just like, because Layla's cool. And
Well,
Eddie's
because
like, what
she's
if one
brown.
of 2 or 3
No.
amazing actual reasons that are real and not just you and Jess fucking around?
She's
Like-
biracial, so I think she's a biracial queen. A queen god.
There you go. There you go. I'll take
yeah.
that.
But no, because like I think it's really interesting to see that like with this Layla character, because we know in the Moon Knight comics, Mark Spector's girlfriend is this woman named Marlene, and she was the daughter of an archaeologist, and they that's how they sort of met before he became Moon Knight. So like, do you think that Layla could secretly be a Marlene who doesn't remember that she's Marlene?
I
Quite
think that could
possibly.
be true, but I think they also just wanted not to be that person. But I think they
Yeah.
were like, there's a lot of white faces in this Egyptian ran show, and Marlene is blonde white. And so I think they probably were like, maybe it's good
Yeah.
if we tried to like make a new love interest. One
Well-
that is also an enthusiast in like Egyptian culture, but also is brown.
Well,
So-
the great thing
True.
is about this, we have yet to hear her maiden last name. Her
that
maiden
is
name.
also true.
So
yeah, she could
she
still
could
be.
share that. She could still be the Layla character, just with Layla instead of Marlene, and her maiden name be the same as Marlene's maiden.
What if
maiden
Marlene's her
Mm.
mom or something?
It's Alaroon, like
Marlene's
Marlene
her mom.
Alaroon or something like that.
What if Marlene's just her middle name?
Yeah, listen to me and Whitney's theories. Don't listen to Eddie's. So, what if she actually
Yeah,
works
we are
at
right.
the bodega on the corner? She sells sandwiches to Crowley, who is
There
the
you
gold
go.
statue man, right? Hear me out.
There you go.
Yes.
Her name is Layla Crowley. she's her wife. She's his wife. I don't know what I'm saying.
She's married to the statue
but no,
man. Yes, the statue man.
She's married to
The
the
statue
statue
man.
man.
I hope the statue man ends up saving the day at the end of this. I hope like randomly,
is.
like
Oh,
during the
he's
final,
gonna come too.
Oh, he's
battle.
I'm
gonna
waiting.
Oh, he's
They
gonna
he
they
pulls
bring
out a
too
gold
much of
gun.
him
He's
in.
like, "Don't touch my best friend,
Right.
Steve."
Take this motherfucker. Like,
It's
why
like
are you talking?
this series is gonna do what Hot Tub Time Machine did when they were waiting for that guy to lose his arm, and it was like everybody's like, "Oh, it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen." Like, I'm waiting to see if he's going to move from that seat or talk. Like every
Yes.
episode, I'm gonna see him like say something, you bastard.
I just-
What
say
if he could see
I just want the
Khonshu?
first
His eyes,
definitive
I do.
F word to come from this man to be like, "Shut the up, Steve! Shut up!"
Yeah.
You're not the only one with problems, okay?
You're not the only-
I got shit going on.
I want him to
I
walk
am
away
sitting
with
out
a
here
whistle
8
in his
hours
mouth
a day.
and just go zoop, 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 and like leave from this
He
boat.
just walks away. Yeah. Oh my god! But no, this. I love you guys so much. I love this idea of like going back to the very beginnings of the Moon Knight origin to find the first ever Moon Knight. Because I just watched Turning Red last night, and they sort of did that with the whole
Yeah.
panda. Like, we fought the original panda lady, so like I'm all about it. Let's go back to the original.
That's cool.
What'd
Moon
you say
Knight's-
we did?
And
Get him.
huh?
What did you say we did? Did you catch that?
He said,
You
"Let's
said we-
find the
The original panda lady?
Oh, did he say
No,
find
he said
or?
find.
Oh, find. I didn't.
yeah.
No, I didn't say. Oh, no.
Oh,
No
he
one-
said
the
no
original
one has
panda.
sex
I
with me.
heard, I
said,
heard you, MT. I heard what you said. I heard.
I
was
said
like-
that movie is for children, and it's
It is
great.
for children. The
And
only dirty
teenagers.
things in that movie are under that girl's bed in her drawings. That's
for
it.
real. Just making out with mermen.
Merman.
But no, I'm going to give, once again, I'm going to give Eddie 5,000 points here for his answer because like it was
We
just
were robbed.
real good. It's good,
Jess,
real
we
stuff.
were robbed.
I think we were.
But like, no,
wrong.
I really love
How-
like this idea because like I know that you said that like because she's cool, but like I think that that's actually there's merits to that because
Yeah.
like she is a kind of like a lot more relentless than Steve is. Like she doesn't have like Steve's problems, she doesn't have Mark's problems. So like she could just Khonshu should be like, you know what? Why don't I just use this girl? Like
Well,
why
I
am I
think
just fucking
that's
around with?
why he
this
Mark
can't
goofy
is
use
ass
like
her
dude.
way
is
too much trouble. Steven is high
Not-
maintenance. Let me just.
I
get
think she's
cooler.
too. I think
Yeah.
we think it's like easy what Khonshu is doing,
Hmm.
but it must be so hard to colonize the mind of a human being, especially a mind of Layla, who is like I
strong-willed
don't have
person.
these I don't
Yeah.
have these fears. I don't have any of these things that are holding me back like Arthur Harrow was
Hmm.
or like Mark and Steven are. Like I don't have that. So how are you gonna break me down
Hmm.
enough for you to take over
Yeah.
my mind? So I think it's gonna be super.
true.
He's gonna have to kill Mark or Steven to
Hmm.
get into Layla's mind.
Yeah.
Keep
You
going.
know, that's a really good
Give me
point. I
points.
love that you brought that up because like
Points?
because we see in the
Now does
episode.
Jess win?
No, I really do like that you brought that up because Arthur Harrow does say that like, did Khonshu choose you because you were broken already?
Mhm.
Because like maybe because like he has this like already pre-existing condition.
Yeah.
Like not to say that Mark is broken, but like
Yeah.
you know, I think it's easier for Khonshu to be like, all right, this man has a very fragmented mind, so I'm gonna
Yeah.
sneak my way in here and just be one more.
Yep.
You seem
Steven,
to have room for a lot
was
of
more
people.
vulnerable at that point in
Yeah.
time. Like you take that scene is actually a really great indicator because that conversation he has, with Ethan Hawke, he's pretty much telling him, that he either made you broken because he's a part of you, or he was a part of you because you were already broken. And then we get
Right.
that scene later down the road where Steven can't summon the suit, and
Mhm.
Layla is just like, it's okay, it's all right. Like he's freaking out. Steven's just
Mhm.
losing it. And Layla's like, okay, it's fine. We'll find another way. And I think that's the great juxtaposition of the two different minds on opposite sides of the spectrum that,
Right.
show why Khonshu has hold of Steven and Mark and so forth, and why Layla is just so far off out of his reach that he needs Mark and Steven to break her, like you were saying, to reach her. Maybe his ultimate goal. Maybe that is his ultimate goal at the end of all this. Maybe he just doesn't he doesn't want Steven and Mark. He actually is using Steven and Mark to break Layla because Layla is the ultimate Moon Knight that he knows can be the ultimate, avatar for Khonshu. So
Sounds like
all
points
keep
are
making
coming
yummy
to
noises.
me.
It seems like all the points are going to Jess.
Money, please.
You know what? All right, I'm gonna give Jess. I'm gonna give Jess 5,000. I'm gonna give everybody 5,000 because these were pretty decent ideas. Though. These were all decent ideas.
I gave
I think you guys are all great.
Eddie
know I always do
Eddie
this.
should win. He technically gave like 3 pitches.
He did give really good
So-
answers, but
now
like
he does- he does-
all right,
Oh my
I'll
God.
give Eddie
What is
6,000 and then
happening
you
to
guys
your
get 5,000.
eyeballs?
I'm sorry. I just love I love all of our rope theory guests, and I don't like giving people points because I don't know, I'm too nice. Anyway,
He's going insane.
Anyway, let's move on to our rogue question. You guys ready for this? Because this is going to be worth 1 million points, and it will
Oh,
determine
boy.
the winner. Because that's how I roll.
No
That
way.
is true.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Sam Raimi was asked this week about the possibility of directing a Spider-Man 4 film with Tobey Maguire and didn't completely dismiss the idea. He didn't dismiss it. So, pitch me your roguest idea for a Spider-Man 4 with a middle-aged Peter Parker.
Man,
What do you guys
gonna be
think?
a bunch of sad theories.
Yeah, this is just gonna get
Damn.
sad. Are
Right.
you sure?
All right. Well, do you want to know
Tobey
what I
Maguire
did
has
today?
to get up 4
that's what I
times in the middle of the
mentioned.
night to go pee. And
Oh my god, yeah.
Tobey Maguire has sciatica now.
he's
Yeah.
like, you robbers stay here because I got to go to the bathroom real quick. Yeah.
My doctor's fingers got stuck during the prostate exam. It was
There
very
you go.
embarrassing.
Oh
So
my
much weather.
god.
Just so much weather.
Yeah, he keeps injuring himself and saying he doesn't need to go to the hospital. Saying that it'll be fine tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's got
He and MJ
got a
are
medicine
having
cabinet of every
they
kind
have-
of rub all over the place. Like, back rub,
Yeah.
feet rub.
every
head rub.
balm. Yeah. he and MJ have to schedule their sex nights
Oh,
during
yeah.
the week
Oh.
now. They have scheduled sex because they've gotten to the point where their marriage counselor recommended that they specifically set aside time for intimacy.
Yeah,
And
it's
so
important.
they have a
It's
calendar,
important.
and on the calendar it says tax day every time.
And
Because that's like their code.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Marriage tax. Ugh, I
Marriage
guess.
tax.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess we'll, do the deed.
a middle-aged Peter Parker. Oh God, I feel
He
like
buys a
in-
do you
BMW,
think
but
that
it's
he has
not
a
what he
kid?
expected. It doesn't make
No.
him feel alive like he wanted it to.
Well,
Mm.
I don't think.
Mm.
Okay, so this is the thing. I think Tobey Maguire would have a kid. I think actual Peter Parker probably wouldn't, out of the fear of like his identity.
Mm.
The last thing he wants to lose because he's already
Mm.
lost is his child.
Mm.
So why would he bring something like that into the world? Of like, especially their world where it's like he's the number one enemy to all villains. So it's like,
Yeah.
oh, I can just put this on, like, I can retire from being a superhero. It's like, no, villains are still gonna want to kill you, especially if they find out who you are. So we're hoping there's like a Miles
True.
Morales in that zone that can like take the pedestal. I think realistically he would probably be like a teacher. I think he would be a teacher at the school he
Mm.
was once at, and he would find kids with other superpowers eventually. Not like he would go out of his way, but one day there would be a student that
Mm.
has a superpower, and he'd be like, "You have to like own it. Don't hide it. Don't do this."
Okay.
And then they have like their little buddy together moment, and he's like, "I'm actually Spider-Man." And they're like, "What? You're Spider-Man? I just lift things with my mind." And it's like, well, we both are superheroes and smart, so be okay with yourself. I think that would be like the route of what we'd see him.
I feel like
That'd be really fun.
with
Like a
Sam
mentor?
Raimi, everything that Sam Raimi has done prior to even the Spider-Man movies, everything that he's done prior to that, all his work in horror and comedy and everything, I feel like, because I know we may have one coming up with this particular character, but I feel like Sam Raimi would be the perfect director to do Kraven's Last Hunt with Tobey
Oh.
Maguire.
My God, that'd be
Spider-Man.
so amazing.
Yeah, that'd
Oh my
be
God, yeah,
so
because that
cool.
horror element would
Yeah.
be perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
every
Oh my
aspect
God.
of that with the guy that's in the sewers and then the whole bearing of Peter Parker. And I think we're at a place in Peter Parker's life with Tobey Maguire where the contemplations of his life's past events and things like that would really weigh heavily while going through everything. And then,
Right.
of course, obviously, Sam Raimi can't do everything he would love to do. So obviously, it has to end the way, Raven's Last Hunt ends. Not going to spoil it for you. If you haven't read it, go check it out. But
Everything's
it's a great
fine at
comic.
the end.
Yeah, everything's great. Everything's fine. Everybody's sitting down eating crumpets and tea. I feel like Sam Raimi would be the perfect director to pull that off, just because what we've seen with him and his love for comic books and like almost proper comic book adaptations with the paneling
Right.
and everything. It would just seem like the best fit.
No, I think that'd be honestly the way to go because Kraven is a scary person
Mhm.
to have on your tail. Like he's a huge threat for Spider-Man, and to have a horror director
Yep.
sort of guide that through one of the best Spider-Mans on screen, like everyone's favorite Spider-Man, just being hunted down. I love
Yeah.
that shit. I mean, all about that shit.
Not to mention the creature that's in the sewers, that's in the B plot for that entire comic book, which
Mm.
Spider-Man and him are having fights. That's how Kraven is able to capture Spider-Man, because after that battle, and he's already beaten and bloodied and everything, and it's a great comic. It's a great graphic novel.
Yes, check it out if you haven't.
Mm-hmm.
But what you got, Whitney? Bring us home.
I want to see Spider-Man as Peter Parker, but obviously Tobey Maguire. But in this universe, Peter Parker is best friends with Leonardo DiCaprio. Stay with me. They do the whole
Okay.
Pussy Posse thing. So it's called Spider-Man
Oh my
4
God.
Pussy Posse. And it's just
I've-
going to be Peter
Well,
Parker,
I forgot
Leonardo
where you were going at
DiCaprio.
first, and then I was like, "Oh God, they're a stupid little gang. They're stupid.
They're gonna
gang.
have a
Ugh.
boat that they go on together. They're gonna have a yacht. Leo's gonna talk Toby into doing like a whole Great Gatsby vibe thing with his Spider-Man at
All
some
right.
point.
which technically Tobey Maguire was in The Great Gatsby.
He was.
I know, that's
Right?
yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. And I think that it's gonna be his new era.
You know what? I'm all for Puss Pot Pete. Whatever.
Puss Pot Pete. Yes. Oh my God.
after,
Puss
of
Pot
course-
Pete. Puss Pot Pete. Puss Pot Pete.
because there is, of course, a Marvel character named Pace Pot Pete, so that's a little...
Yeah, no,
play on that.
that's a Marvel character.
I would love to see that, just to recreate The Great Gatsby. Why not?
I just want to recreate it. That's how I feel.
There you go.
But no, these were all very rogue theories. But of course, I got to give this to Eddie for his idea for Kraven, because I just need to see Kraven hunt down a Spider-Man at one point and possibly just stab him at least once.
Yeah.
Just one time.
And if we get any of those
I don't
elements
like
from
the way...
like the Evil Dead, that would be great. Like just all those elements that he pulls from like Evil Dead or even Evil Dead 2 into this movie, that would be just perfect. So
that would be freaking
Peter
dope.
like just got stabbed though, you guys.
He did get stabbed,
why
but
are you
not
trying
enough.
to stab my man again? I love killing
know.
Peter
Listen,
Parker,
Keep
but
stabbing a 40-year-old
I
man over and over and over again.
Listen, I recently rewatched that original Raimi trilogy. I do not like the way that Peter talks to MJ. He was a terrible boyfriend, so he deserves
he's the worst boyfriend.
The worst boyfriend
really
in the
is.
world. So
He's
2 stabs
terrible.
minimum.
there
2
you go.
stabs.
2
You only got
stabs
one.
minimum.
There you go.
But that makes Eddie our winner for today's Rogue Theory. Claps for Eddie. But everyone, of course, is the winner because you guys are all smart and wonderful. And
Winners
I love you
in
guys
Jesus.
all equally. But anyway, that is it for this episode of Rogue Theory. Of course, I want to thank our wonderful, amazing, stupendous guests, Jessica Clemons, Whitney Van Laningham, and Eddie Villanueva. Support them wherever they are, and of course, support our channel by checking out all of our awesome merch over at newrockstarsmerch.com. And do not forget to pick up our new Moon Knight shirt. It is the dopest shirt ever. And if you have your own Rogue Theories, you can share them on our Discord. Just make sure you are over 18 when you join, and just click the link in the description to bring you right on there. And follow me on MasterTainment if you want to see me tweet some weird shit. And follow New Rockstars on all of our social platforms. And be sure to subscribe to our channel here on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for watching. We love you guys so, so much. And we'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.
Deuce. Art.
Deuces.
Art.
Deuces. Oh. Are we doing a DMX ending?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's gonna get
See you next time. Ooh.